Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. I'm Ryan with Elevate Security. As promised, in this one we're going to be going a bit hands-on with Burp Suite. I'm going to make a lot of videos on Burp because it's a very complex application. There's so much you can do with it. It's kind of crazy actually. So I'm just going to give like a really basics rundown of Burp and maybe Proxy, a little bit of traffic in this one as well. Well, I did open it, but VMs are being VMs again, it looks like. I'm not sure. And now, oh, perfect. Now my cursor froze up. And now there's some terms and conditions, and I can't even move my mouse. Hold up. Okay. I do not want to send them feedback. And I don't even want to update this right now either. So let's just start it up. This is a community edition, the free edition. You guys that are running this outside of corporate environments, probably what you're going to be rolling with. Now, I will say all the limitations of the community edition, you can get around them by using other tools. For example, the intruder is heavily throttled, so it's really hard to fuzz parameters because it's so freaking slow. And the longer your word list, the longer your attack list, the more it throttles you, right? Like the more things you're trying to fuzz, or more, more along your list, the more it throttles you. So you can just use other tools like WFuzz. You can even use OWASP Zap, which is basically like the OWASP open source free version of Burp Pro. It can do everything Burp Pro can pretty much. It's just different. But, dude, I don't like OWASP that much. Some people love it. I'm more of a Burp guy. Of course, in my corporate job, I am able to use the Pro version. But I'll show you how you can get by just fine in the Community Edition. Maybe I'll make videos. That'd probably be fun, right? Taking all the, basically going through all the, everything Burp Pro gives you, but how to do it using another tool. So all you guys that don't have access to Burp Pro, you could just do what Burp Pro can, but knowing what tool to use to get around the limitations of community. I think that would be a useful video. Hell, I would have watched that when I was starting out. I will say if you do want to purchase Burp Pro, it's like $300 a year. I always hate yearly subscriptions or monthly subscriptions. I try to minimize that whenever I can because it's so annoying. It's you can never own it. You got to pay for a license. But obviously there's certain things that I do pay for a license for, like the Adobe Creative Cloud and stuff like that. As you can see down here, as a content creator, it's just too good to pass up. But yeah, I try to avoid stuff like that when I can. I'm gonna be fully transparent with you guys. I don't even own Burp Pro. My company has a license, and so I get to use it whenever I want, but I never was at the point where I justified getting it. But that's just me. Maybe you want it. Go ahead. Maybe you're not in this field yet, and you really want to be able to be as employable as possible, and you have the money to throw out. Sure, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. But yeah, enough rambling here. Let's get straight into it. This is the dashboard. Now, depending on what version you have of this, you have an older version, it might look different. But I believe this is not even the current version, right? It wanted me to update. But I don't think the current version is that much different than this. I think this is about what the newest version looks like. So here, I think this is a Pro. Yeah, Pro version only. You can actually do... use it as a lightweight application, web app scanner, vulnerability scanner, where it'll actually scan for vulnerabilities for you and tell you what it came back with. But that's a Pro feature, so we won't really worry about that for now. This is mostly about Community Edition. So to be honest, with Community Edition, the dashboard is not that useful. So let's just look at Target. Now, this is going to be easier to showcase once I actually proxy some traffic. So let's see. Let us go to, oh geez, I don't want to open the web browser on here. I remember the last time I tried to do that. That was not pretty. You know what? Let's go to HackerOne, shall we? Let's see what bug bounties are hot right now. All right, so yeah, basically I just logged into my account and now I can see some of the most recent reports here. This is like the hacktivity, and we can just look at some of this. I don't want to like show all my info here, so if I look at, I just wanted to use this to find like some site we can test. We can do this, zomato.com. I have no idea what this is, but apparently it is vulnerable to blind SQL injection and it's running on PHP, so that sounds as good as anything. The only thing that is downside about this that I didn't consider is, of course, I'm going to have to open this web browser. Yikes. And I hope it doesn't like break the whole system like it did last time. So one of the best tools when you're using Burp is a tool called Foxy Proxy, because if you don't have Foxy Proxy, what you're going to have to do is every single time you want to enable your proxy so that you can capture your traffic in Burp, you're going to have to go into the network settings, and it's just going to be really annoying. So the easiest way to do it is to, if you're using Chrome, why is it telling me to download Chrome? I'm using Chrome, am I not? Or is this Firefox? Oh no, this is Firefox, right? If you're using Chrome, you install the Chrome extension. If you're using Firefox, as I'm using Firefox, I need to download the Firefox plugin here. Do this, I add to Firefox, and click add here. Now I can configure this here. So let's configure it really quick, right? So we'll add a new one here, and we'll say that we'll call this Burp because we're going to use this one for Burp. Leave that. That's fine. We tell it the loop back, and then we'll tell it port 8080. That's the default port that Burp listens on. So if we save this, now whenever we want to enable it, we just do that. And now all of our traffic should be logged. So if we go to zomato.com, but we did get on the site, and if we just, wherever we browse, it's going to be capturing that traffic, right? So let's search for a restaurant. Okay, we're in Delhi. Let's just see curry or something. I don't know. So is this a like site for like India? I wonder. I guess this is a site for finding like restaurants or something. That's what it sounds like. Let's see. So the whole time while we're on this site, it's like capturing our traffic, right? We went to this. It was a 301 redirect. It redirected us to the home page or to this /NCR. And then we got a 200 response, right? So this is what your requests look like. If you watch my previous videos here, you see these are the cookies here that come with your request. And then you got your HTTP response where it's setting your cookies and displaying sending you the HTML, JavaScript, all that stuff, right? So yeah, I don't want to do too much with this site. I was just showing you how anytime I go somewhere, like this is kind of hanging on me. I wanted to go, like say go out for a meal, right? That's a different request, and oh man, it's not loading their CSS for some reason. I don't know. I think it might have to do with the CA servers. I don't know. Yeah, it's something with Burp is like bricking it. But yeah, anytime you do different stuff. Oh, in this case, yeah, we should see. Yeah, okay, yeah, see, we clicked on that link and that took us to NCR dine out. So now we see a get request NCR dine out, and then this is our request, and then here's our response, right? So that's what the HTTP history is for. Now, say I wanted to replay this request and change some parameters and see how that affects things, right? I can send it to repeater with Control-R, or I can right-click send a repeater. And the repeater, it does what it says. It repeats your request. So I can change anything here. Let's say I wanted to see, okay, what happens? Well, first let's just send the request, right? We should get a 200, okay. Yep. That's what we'd expect. Now, what if we're curious? What if I remove this cookie? What happens, right? What if I completely get rid of it and I send it? Does it still work? It does. Okay, what if I like tamper with the session ID, right? What if I add some stuff in? Does it still work? It does. Oh, like look, see, this is probably Facebook track, right? Look, it's tracking me. There's a tracking cookie right there. It appears. See, all this stuff here is encoded. Looks like it's URL encoded. So I can send this to the decoder. Now the decoder does what it says. It decodes stuff. I can do a smart decode. And it looks like this is base 64 for some JSON data here. It's using fetch from Google in this case. So yeah, just some cool stuff here. This is how the decoder works. You can encode stuff as well. You can decode it, specifically any of these, or you can do smart decode where it tries to guess for you. In this case, I believe it was like a, sorry, it wasn't a base 64. I think I said base 64 earlier. This is a URL, right? See, if I did base 64, it wouldn't work, right? But if I do URL, yeah, see, this is URL encoded. My bad there. So yeah, that's how you use the repeater. Now say I wanted to fuzz one of these parameters. Now I wouldn't use Community Edition for this, but just for the sake of demonstration, I can do Control I, or as I did, right click, send an intruder. And let's say for the sake of argument, I just wanted to fuzz this parameter here, this cookie. I want to fuzz this cookie, right? First, let's clear all these. Everything highlighted is what's going to try to fuzz, so we don't want to do that, right? We just want to, we want to be changing this parameter with our payload, right? So we're going to add this, and now we're going to go to payloads, and here we can load a list, like if we have one saved on our system. Otherwise, we could copy and then paste something in. Let's say we have a few things here. We're just going to manually add some stuff, I don't know. And then, yeah, remove that. Say that's what we're doing, right? So we could do that, and so when we're ready to start the attack, we just do start attack, and it's just going to say, hey, you're going to be throttled. That's cool for the sake of demonstration. And we can see here they all get a 200 OK status. You all have about the same length. So what you want to look for is any anomalies here. Lengths drastically different status code, stuff like that. That could, indicate that there's something going on there. And from there, you can get more granular. You can click there and see what's the response. You can actually show the response in browser, right? So we can see what this actually looks like, right? What if we're like, well, what does this actually look like on screen? Show a response in browser. You copy this, and then, uh-oh, what happened? Froze up there. Cursor froze. Okay. So now we can go in here, right? Paste this in, and it'll show us what that actual response looks like. This is what it looks like. Again, I don't know why the CSS is not rendering properly, but you get the idea, I believe. If not, let me know. I can clarify. But yeah, that's the intruder. There's some additional options in here you can do. See, like I told you, it's by default, Burp is listening on 8080 on the loopback. That's why I picked that in the Foxy proxy. If I have intercept turned on, it just shows you every single request. You can tamper with it before you send the request. Sequencer, these are cool. Look into them. I don't use it as much. But really, if you want to bare bones, what you should focus on with Burp in order to get your first job in security as a pen tester, focus on understanding, and you can modify the scope, by the way, too. Build a sitemap for you. But yeah, focus on, understanding the HTTP history tab. This is just your history of all your browsing activity, right? As long as I have Foxy proxy running, so that it'll pass it through Burp. Burp's gonna log everything I do, and you'll be able to see it in the HTTP history, right? If anything stands out to you, Control R, send it to repeater, okay? And then in the repeater, learn how to, fuzz parameters, change the cookies and stuff like that. Get comfortable with, just making whatever adjustments, sending it, see how the server responds and stuff like that. If there's anything you really want to fuzz, use the intruder for now, because you can tell employers that you understand the intruder. You can use the intruder. Otherwise, you can use wfuzz. I'll cover that in a later video so that you're not throttled. You can also use zap. I can cover that too. But yeah, focus in on repeater, intruder, and the HTTP history, and decoder too. If you see something URL encoded or base64 encoded and you want to know what's going on there, use that for sure. But really, in order to get up and running with Burp, I mean, it's not that crazy. A lot of it is understanding web app vulnerabilities, right? The request methods you can change. Here's something cool to note. You can right click this and say change request method, and now it's a post request. So all the parameters go down in the body instead of the URL. Let's see what happens if we send this as a post request. Okay, it'll still accept it. That's interesting. There's like some license key or something. But anyways, yeah, that's how that works. Some JavaScript thing, I guess. But yeah, this is basically what you want to focus on, the areas to really learn Burp. There's a lot to it, but in order to get up and running with it and to have some value to show other people, really there's not too much you need to learn. I'll be getting more in depth and more hands-on with it in future videos, and especially if I make more Hack the Box videos, you're going to see me using this application a lot. Like I said, this is the most important application for a pen tester to learn, so definitely you'll get your hours in using Burp, and you'll naturally learn it if you just do a lot of like CTFs and stuff like that and really try to build your skill set up. But yeah, I hope this video has helped. It's getting a little long now, so I'll cut it there. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know if there's any questions. I'll get them answered, comments. I will see you guys in the next video.